Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Winner Circle Sports Betting Podcast, powered by GamblesWorld.net, where you could find me, Chip, Doug, 10 other top handicappers for you for all your sports betting needs. But before we get to that, you know what we like to do. We like to hit the like button here on the YouTube channel, get those likes up. The rookie numbers at 14,000. We got to get these up. We're all on Twitter, the X. Come find us all there. All right. We got 3 baseball winners going today. Me and Chip 2-0 yesterday. Apparently it was a boring show. I'll go boring 2-0. I don't have enough flair, I guess. We're going to work on it. We'll smile more. Maybe do a little dance. Maybe I'll show a little chest hair. I don't know. We got to get the likes up here. Speaking of likes, I know you like the live show. We're back next Friday. Football Fridays have returned. We'll mix it up with new guests. Chip, Doug, myself as always, but Victor King Creole himself popping in. Mark Lawrence popping in. Perhaps a Matt Fargo sighting. Who knows? We got some new people on the site. Kyle Hunter, Rob Vinceleni. I don't know who will be. Some people don't like coming on. Others do. But the live show is back. Took a couple weeks off, really, after the basketball season ends. Baseball is a little refreshing time. NFL, though, full slate of Week 1 preseason action this week. We got a game today. We could talk about it a little bit here, see how everybody's doing. But 429, the rest of baseball. New football packages up this weekend for preseason. College football's 2 weeks, and away we go. But let's give our guy Doug a welcome back. It's been a couple days since Doug has been here. How are you? Welcome. How the game's going?
I'm doing well, and let's see here. So the games this week, baseball, spotty, up and down. Okay, a little bit. So just hey, that's just part of what 26 weeks. You're going to have some of those streaks. Yes. So just haven't done quite what I want, but we'll see if we can get that turned around today. I got 2 plays actually going today, starting at 4 Eastern, so that's good. And you mentioned NFL exhibition football coming your way, and it is exhibition, by the way. Just everybody know that. So I got to play on one of the 2 games tonight coming your way, and the last 16 years, okay, 80 and 57 in preseason football. Okay, so that's been strong. And I know your 2 guys' favorite, little CFL action going tonight on Thursday as well. So bringing it, okay, today, okay, at Gamblers World, and see what we can do to get a bunch of winners.
CFL, yes. Gamblers World, get all of Doug's plays here. Again, 3, 7, and 38 packages are guaranteed for Doug or any other capper user there, which if we don't win over that time span, those day spans, you get a credit back, and then you can jump on board. Well, you mentioned it's kind of been a little bit of a up and down kind of run for you, and I get it. We, just on the video here, we are 3-4 this week. 2-0 yesterday, 3-4 for the week, down $90 here at a $100 bet. But I found myself the last couple weeks just hovering around 500. I got nothing today. I was like, you know what? I really don't love anything. Your game, we'll talk about you first with your game here with Philly and Arizona. That's a game I kind of liked. We'll lead into that. But I just feel, and I'll talk about this with CBS, it's one of those times a year, it's like before the All-Star break, how are teams playing? Afterwards, the trades are there, weight off of shoulders, exhaling. This is what we are. We're going for it. We mailed it in. We're rebuilding. I find it gets a little tougher this time of year for me. So I'm not doing as many games. I don't mind. I got football to concentrate on, as you said, right? It's preseason. Not betting all the games. I mean, you got 147 in the last decade plus of action. It's not something just because the info is there doesn't mean it's going to win all the time. You got to kind of find spots, but you got to get prepared for the season. There's a lot of stuff out there between college and NFL, but sometimes they hit a little rough patch. It happens. It's a long baseball season, Doug.
It's like I said, 26 weeks, okay, not including the playoffs.
Yep.
So that's so I mean, I'm not concerned about it. Okay, it's just part of the deal. I mean, look what's going to happen this year. It's very unlikely in baseball there's going to be a 100-win baseball team. Okay, that is a rarity. Okay, I mean, it could happen. Somebody might get hot and just go on a huge streak. But I mean, and that's there's been, I guess, let's just say, other than the White Sox. Well, I guess I'll throw in the A's in there too. But the White Sox and the A's, I mean, let's just say there's a fair amount of, I'm just going to say, parity is probably too strong of a word for baseball. Okay. But there's just, the top teams are beatable, which makes the potential postseason just literally wide open, it seems. Okay. Granted, some teams will have some advantages, maybe with three really good starting pitchers, a couple guys that have the potential to get hot, in the lineup, and a deep enough bullpen. So that will play itself out once we know who those teams are. But getting there, it's going to be part of an interesting process for sure.
Well, you mentioned a 100-win team. The Dodgers are supposed to win. Well, they're going to win 110 games this year. This team is the best thing ever. Yeah, how are they doing? Pitching staff is in disarray. The Yankees were thought to be a great juggernaut. They started good. They've been back and forth. They're on a nice little run now. The Phillies at one point looked like they were the best team. We got Chipper back. Yeah. Is he back with us? There you go. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So I think this season, it is really a wide open baseball playoff. I don't, I could say any team you could kind of say can go on a run and win it this year.
Yeah, no question about it. What do you think, Chip?
I think Kansas City's a dark horse. I don't know where you were before, but I just jumped in.
We're just saying it's wide open. So
yeah, so they may be part of the action of what we're talking about. It's I think the Yankees have too many holes. I don't think their pitching is deep enough, and Baltimore again, their pitching has been decimated with injuries. So it's going to be interesting the last 2 months, and I just hope everything stays the way it's been going for us as far as the pitcher selection anyway.
Well, speaking of teams getting hot, we're going to roll into Doug's game here, the Phillies and the Arizona Diamondbacks. We got a team in Arizona who came out of nowhere last year, right? Where were they to start the season? Going to a World Series. Now, they lost to another team that came out of nowhere to win the World Series, but this is what we're talking about. The Phillies at one point, wow, they're the best team. Nobody's beating them. And then all of a sudden you lose 6 in a row, and, hey, how good are we? You have Kobe Allard, which, okay, here's what it is. Versus Jordan Montgomery, I know him from the Yankees. Where is the version of him the last 2 years? Because he's been absolutely brutal this year. They are a small fave here. Could be 110s either way. 115s here. We got Philly listed. A total of 9.5. I kind of want to take Philly here because you got Arizona off a doubleheader, traveling, bad spot. Monty at home at 385 batting average against a 2+ whip. I'm like, yikes. I don't like it. But I don't like Allard either is all that much. And Arizona, winners of 4 straight, 8 and 9. Here they come again. Here they come, and again some pitchers back. Kelly and Rodriguez, watch out. But it's your pick here. What do you go for it on Arizona and Philly?
Yeah, well, in fact, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm waiting for one phone call. But if I get the right phone call, I'll be at that game, as a matter of fact, tonight.
There you go.
So see what happens here. But, hey, it's round 2 of last year's National League Championship, okay? This time it's going to be right here in the desert for this one. Philly won the earlier series over the Diamondbacks, but this is going to be a 4-game series, so that's a little bit different. Phillies, I think, come in feeling pretty good. Okay, best record now in baseball again. Had 2 meaningful wins over the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium, and really 2 blowouts by 4 and 5 runs. Diamondbacks, sure, it's starting to look like last year's team, aren't they? At the end of the season,
yeah.
Okay. I mean, they just swept Cleveland at Cleveland. I mean, you say what you want about the Guardians. Their record at home was outstanding, and they just got swept. And Diamondbacks now are 10-0-1 in their last 11 series, and they've won 24 of 33. Now, you mentioned that pitching matchup tonight. Not exactly A+, okay, just in terms of what you're looking at here. And I think if you look at what Sean said about Allard and Montgomery, I think the total of 9.5 kind of encapsulates their season, because that's obviously higher than normal. We're digging a little deeper. Philly, they are average 4.9 runs per game against left-handed starters. Arizona is at a baseball best 5.7 against Portsiders. Both squads in their last 5 games have averaged 5.3 or more runs per game. I'm going to go over the 9.5 on this one.
Doug, official pick over 9.5. Philly, Arizona, and maybe, who knows, if you're watching the game tonight, maybe see Doug chilling in the pool. They still got a pool out there. You're gonna be in the pool having a little frozen margarita in the pool.
I have never been in it, but I'm well familiar with it, and just it's an okay ballpark. Okay, nothing special about it. It needs some work, and ownership's got to. They'll have to figure out something. But it's
Looks
but
good on
having the
TV.
Phillies in town will be a good thing.
Chipper, I think they had to Philly, Arizona. You got a thought on this one?
Yeah, I got a few thoughts, and one of them is that I'm kind of angry. We had a rain out a couple of days ago, and we had Arizona listed as our best bet. And, Sean, you and I talked about the problems with double headers, getting the matchups you want and when they start. And I ended up passing both games yesterday, and they win both games. So I'm kind of frustrated about that. But Arizona has picked up, like Doug says, from before the All-Star game. But since the All-Star game, they've gone 14-4, like 10-0-1 in their last 11 series. And they're now tied for the top wild card spot. Montgomery has been giving up a bunch of runs, and this starter Colby Allard for Philadelphia. 2 years ago he was a starter. 3 years ago he was a starter. Went 3-12 with an ERA of over 5. I like Arizona because I think they're a hot team, and I think they're putting it together as far as making a run. I don't think that's happening with the other World Series combatant last year, Texas. I think there's going to be plenty of runs scored here, and I would lean toward Arizona as a selection.
At a pick 'em price like this, you got a team, as you mentioned, 14-4, 4 in a row, 5 in a row,
right.
8-9. You get them at a pick 'em. The caveat being they just played a doubleheader and traveling home, which is. But if you want to take I don't hate the over. I think would be a good spot because tired pitchers, bad travel spots, stuff like that. But if you want to take them on a run line, take a shot. I mean, this is like when we see teams. A disrespected team. Now, the Orioles were like this earlier, always getting plus money as a road dog. You're like, wait a second, they're in first place in the AL East. How do you? They're almost an underdog tonight, Arizona. I don't know. Listen. The books are the books for a reason. They obviously don't love Monty, but over 9.5, we could see why that's the number there. Speaking of overs, the Yankees yesterday. The hype on these guys. Let's go into Angels, Yankees for Chip's pick here.
Right.
How Cleveland getting swept at home in a doubleheader. Yankees playing a bad team. Granted, they bring up a minor leaguer to throw out that second game, but this is why I can't have faith in the Yankees. These are games you have to win. These throwaway kind of games are at the end of the season are going to get you an extra home game in the playoffs or win you the division here. Cortez. A 240, 260. Look at this number today. 275 now? A 275. This kid Anderson, back to his Dodger numbers, 184 road ERA, 172 batting average against, .97 whip on the road, all numbers I love, and you're going to give me 250 with Cortez, who had a great first half, what was that, 2 years ago? And has been pedestrian since? And a Yankee team off a doubleheader with these bats? This is a Judge, Soto, Chisholm. I get it. What are you doing here? I want to go on a Yankee rant. I'm sorry I stole maybe some of your thunder here on the Yankees, but I am still not kind of sold on it. I love the Chisholm trade. Still some gaping holes in this team. 275 Chipper? What do you think? 275 favorite?
I throw those kind of numbers out, particularly when you got like Nestor Cortez. I mean, he just hasn't done it this year, giving up runs in bunches. 20 home runs on the season. I think this game, as much as you may want to play the Yankees, hoping they don't lose 3 out of 4 against the Angels, who, by the way, just took 2 out of 3 from the Mets. 250 is just too huge a price. I don't want to lay runs with this type of team because they give up runs, but I'll play over. I'll definitely play over in this game. And like you said about Tyler Anderson, it just seems like the better part of his career is over. The Bishop Gorman days are done, and the winning with the LA Dodgers are done. So I think the game goes over the total. I think Anderson's very hittable, and we know Cortez has just been giving up bunches and home runs right along. In 10 innings against the Yankees, Tyler Anderson hasn't been that bad, giving up 3 runs and 9 hits. But coming off these kind of losses, I think the Yankees are going to be concentrating tonight. I'm kind of surprised this game on a Thursday was a night game in New York with California as opposed to being a day game, but it was better for us to be able to analyze it. So I played the Yankees and Angels over.
New York doesn't want to give out any day games, and they don't. They no way. They want people in the stands. They don't want people working. Forget it. Anyway, the Yankees. I'm done with this squad. Doug, thoughts on this? 275 for Cortez.
Yeah. I couldn't even. I didn't even look at the side. Okay, I went right to the total, and we're gonna have a disagreement here with Mr. Chipster here on this one. You mentioned about the doubleheader. Okay, today's modern ball player. Okay, they can get tired after a doubleheader. Okay, just it's a bigger deal for these guys now. I chuckle as I say that. But Tyler Anderson, right now he's sitting with a 3.05 ERA, and that has gone up because he's been under 3 almost the entire season. But he's coming off of the month of July where his ERA was still. It was 4. It wasn't terrible because especially if you look at his career numbers. I think he can be effective, okay, today while he's in there. And I know you guys are talking about Cortez, and I get it, okay, from that standpoint. But at Yankee Stadium this year, he does have a 2.48 ERA, okay. Gives up home runs, makes mistakes. I get all that. I did one more thing to try and find out if I had the right side. And so here's something that maybe not everybody knows. Since July 1st, if you look at run preventions from bullpens, the Angels are number 2, the Yankees are number 3. Okay. With that in mind, with these two pitchers, what they've done, generally speaking, I'm going to go under the 8.5 on this one.
All right. So a little disagreement on the total. Official play, though, is the 8.5 for Chip here. And, to help Chip out here, Cortez, 6.93 ERA in July. Not good. The weather gets hot. He's been getting burned. Yankees have lost 6 of his last 7 starts. I want to take a flyer on the Angels here, plus the 250, plus whatever I can get at plus money, because Anderson has been decent on the road. And you're going to give me that kind of number with the guy who's lost – the team has lost 6 of his 7 starts. It might be worth a flyer to me. You know me, I see those plus monies. I'm like, ooh, why not just dabble in it? But again, I got nothing today. That's how much I totally love it. I love it so much I didn't bet it. So take that for what it's worth. Chipper on the over, Yankees 8.5. Doug's got the Arizona over 9.5. I am going to look at a game today here. Detroit and Seattle is my game on the board.
Is that who Seattle's playing today?
Yes. It's not the Royals. It's not the Royals and Tigers. I wrote Royals Tigers.
That's a behind the scenes joke.
That's fine. I'll let them know. Well, I tell the people we send out the game, so I messed up. I make mistakes. Again, I lose a game. I'm gonna write the wrong team down every once in a while. We figure it out. We'll be all right. Oh, Detroit. The fact you traded Flannery, you dabbled in getting rid of Scuba, you traded your bullpen away. You're in Seattle here. What happens? You come out and win 2 straight on the road, going for a sweep here. Going for a sweep on a bullpen day. So Seattle's a $200, $205. That's a big number with Lou for a team that doesn't score runs. I was thinking you got to do a run line here, right? Because you look at Wu at home, ridiculous. A .87 whip at home. Even just on the season, the guy is, I'm sorry, .87 whip on the season, .79 at home. What? Talk about the quiet. Who does anybody know about this guy? But yet this team with him and Castillo and Gilbert cannot score runs. 2 runs, 0. You lost 3 in a row. I can't, in good conscience, say, I'll never say, let's say minus 200. I don't even, run line at plus 110 is not even worth it for me here. I can't. Detroit, at least, throwing out a bullpen day here. Looks like it's going to be a Bolton combo, and we might get to Kenta Maeda after that or Fado. Whatever. Their bullpen days, they've won 3 of the last 5 bullpen days. So they're kind of a little feisty. So they might put up a run or 2 here. I'm just going to stick it to the totals here. That's the way we've been rolling. Normally August, we've seen a lot of overs now. I can't with Seattle. I can't. I'm going to go under. I'm going to go under 7.5 here. I think Wu is going to give up his run and a half. What's he going to do in 6 innings? I don't want to do a first 5. I'm a full game guy, 98.7% of the time. Full game under here. I don't care how bad a bullpen day is. 4 runs, I'm still gonna get under because I don't think the Tigers are going to score more than 2 runs today. If that's the case, Seattle, wow, you totally blew a chance at a good little run because I think you have really top to bottom rotation wise. You probably have the best staff in baseball going all season long from April to right now. If you look at just total composite numbers, not one guy having a good year. Overall, the staff has been wasted because they can't get a hit. Give me the under 7.5. We'll start with Chip because maybe he has a fun fact today for us as well.
Well, I know Doug has something for August 8th, but I'll throw something at you anyway, Doug. An unusual happening in 1920, Detroit beats the Yankees 1-0, and the game went 73 minutes. 73 minutes. Can you imagine that nowadays? By the way, the shortest game ever in Major League history is 59 minutes, a 1-0 victory with the Giants and Phillies. 1976, by the way, on the state, the Chicago White Sox, they didn't win a game, but they did break out shorts. Bill Beck had them playing in shorts for the first time in 1976. And still in Chicago, Doug, in 1988, at Wrigley, the first night game was to be played. And, of course, it was rained out, Chicago and Philadelphia. 1990, got big news for you. Pete Rose was sentenced to 5 months in Marion Federal Prison, not for tax evasion, but for tax fraud. He filed fraudulent tax reports. And again, with the White Sox, and this is a dream come true for them, in 1991, on this date, they had gotten to 2.15 million people in attendance. And how they doing nowadays? But I don't see it happening in this Detroit-Seattle game here. Brandon Wu on the mound. Detroit has won 5 of the last 6 meetings. They come in. They were a big winner for me last night. I don't have any problems going to the other side, and I'm going to take Seattle here. They're a half game behind Houston, the wild card spot, still live. They're, like you said, though, their offense is pitiful. They're going to hope for a good outing out of their starters and possibly their closers. So I'll take Seattle on this one. That in the Kingdom? No.
The Kingdom. Missed the Kingdom. Yeah. I thought it was good as the Hubert Humphrey Center back in the maybe you said that garbage bag out there for Minnesota back in the old days. Yeah. Doug, what do you got? You got a fun fact today?
Well, yeah. Well, it's not. I don't know if it's a fun fact. It's just a true fact. It's 2003. Yours truly, officially moved into a residence in Scottsdale, Arizona today, August the 8th. Okay, 21 years ago. So I've been here obviously ever since. And from the standpoint, other than getting married, best move I ever made. Okay?
And Arizona's never been hotter.
Yeah, I just got to get like the weather. That's that. Well, yeah. You're in terms of that. That's also correct there too. Speaking of hot though, Brian Wu, talking about him, guy's 24 years old. Here's the problem though, as talented as he is, he just can't stay healthy, and it's just time after time. I mean, each season that he's been in the big leagues, he's had to spend time in the IL, so that's a problem. But he can be just electric. He hasn't given up an earned run in his last 11 innings. Detroit, as you mentioned, another bullpen game there. Don't know exactly what that means. Like Sean said, they've won a few of them of late. Mariners offense, not consistent, and even when it's good, sometimes it's not even that good. I'm still willing to take a flyer though on the first 5 run line for Seattle at -0.5 because of Wu. And the other thing, the Seattle bullpen in this series, anyways, it's not that it's great, but it's been awful. Okay, in this series, so I'm a little skittish to go all the way with that. So give me Seattle -0.5 on the first half run line, or first 5.
I like that safe way to go there. But will you take everything else out of the equation? Can they score a run? Can they score a run and just have a lead on this team? Because he's not gonna give up nothing. What are you gonna say there? Chip, you gonna answer? You were waving.
What was that? Oh no, I said 5. When he said the first half, I said the first 5. I was signaling the first 5.
Yep.
You mentioned 21 years in the house, right? So when I left my house, I was there almost the time I moved in, the time I left, almost 10 years to the day. I found, again, it was an older home. Do you find when you're at that stage, it's kind of like, well, we got to start replacing things, right? Isn't that the rule of thumb? Like you're just about done paying off your home, and all of a sudden it's like, hi, I need a new roof and new windows, and let me fix the door, and here comes every other appliance I need to be done.
That's
home ownership, folks.
Yes. Well, that's the house we moved into, and actually even the neighborhood we live in now. There was late 90s. There was a lot of, or early 90s, a lot of growth around here, and that's actually, well, nope, not that anybody cares. That's when the full circle 360-degree roundabout highway was built, okay, during that time, which of course then precipitated a lot of growth throughout the entire valley. So that was a big deal. So I to your point, in terms of some added expenses, I've had it both going and coming. Okay, in terms of that. So I've hit the parlay quite well on those.
When I was leaving Jersey, I had an older house. It was like an old turn of the century, like 1905 turn of the century. So I was like, all right, it's getting, I moved in, I put a roof on it, windows, all that kind of stuff. But then I moved here and it was a brand new construction. I'm like, look at this. I'm good to go for at least 10, 15 years. I'll be safe. I'll be wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And then all of a sudden I'll be 70 and I got to replace the whole place. And I'll be like, you know what? Here, kids, you can take it. I'm going into me and the wife will go into a little condo or something. Anyway, listen, that's our home ownership tip of the day. Try to get in on a newer place and then get out of there before you got to drop about $50,000 minimum into it to do cosmetic nonsense. Baseball picks. Hopefully this will help you get that new roof or windows or door or who knows what you're looking to get. But we got 3 of them today. All totals. Chip, we'll be looking at the over. Arizona Diamondbacks, 9.5. Excuse me. Doug's on the over, 9.5. I thought I said Chip. Sorry about that, folks. Chipper is on the Yankee total over 8.5. I am on the under Seattle and Detroit Tigers. All Thursday night action. Be sure to hit the like button. GamblesRoll.net for all the premium picks. 3 and 7 day, 30-day packages all guaranteed. Now, Chipper will be running the show tomorrow. He's the boss man. Him and Victor King. They'll probably talk a little weekend football because we got some loaded Saturday card of NFL preseason. Probably a couple baseball games just to talk about. Chip's going to bring it up because what would be a free pick show if there's not a free baseball pick? Next week is the live football action. Football Friday's back, 1:30 p.m. Eastern time live every Friday through football. Then we got March Madness. It runs basically through June because we got NBA playoffs. So there you go. We had our hiatus for 6 weeks. We're back live on Fridays, 5 days a week as always. For Chip, Doug, and myself, have a good Thursday. I will see you next week.